What's going on YouTube? Fesify Media. In this story, a Snapchat rap that takes self-snitching to a whole nother level. Make sure you guys are subscribed, like this video and smash that notification bell. Let's get straight into it.
Should have seen that away that I queft him, man. I weren't shocked that all of his brethren left him.
These are the words of a man after he's just taken someone's life with other people. And do them lyrics sound familiar? Well, it's out of Tion Wayne's song with Russ. He had the same lyrics in that song. Tion Wayne said though, if you saw the way that I queft him, man, I weren't shocked that his brethren left him. The guy in that Snapchat video was quoting the lyrics, but had actually done that just an hour before he posted up this snap. He was involved in that exact situation.
Way that I queft him, man, I weren't shocked that all of his brethren left him.
Okay, he was covering up his face in the Snapchat, but still was coming directly from his account, which other people could screen record. And little did he know, he's being filmed on CCTV cameras as well. He wasn't just filming himself. So June 2019 in Coventry, central London in England, Enroy Ruddock, who was the man in that Snapchat video hours earlier, was spotted on CCTV with a motorbike helmet in his hand. And also not long after, they managed to pick up him on the back of a bike as well, which is circled here on the screen. It said Ruddock is seen on the back of this bike carrying a petrol can. On this day, rivals of his was in his area and he was out to seek retribution for stuff that had happened previously. The feud was between Tower Hill and the Canley area. This was a serious feud which was picking up a lot of heat in the area, and they lived so close. When you type it into Google how far they are apart in Coventry, if you're driving just 5 minutes apart, so you're bound to bump into people you don't want to, and this is just picking up more and more attention across this week. On the back of this stolen motorbike, he can be seen holding a petrol can which he used to set fire to an Astra which had been driven into his area, which he thought was his ops from Tower Hill, which would be driving into his area, which is Canley. But tensions escalated a lot further when two men from Tower Hill are chased into a shop by Ruddock, the man in the Snapchat video, and armed associates in this blue van. Ruddock storms into the shop and squares up to the man that he chased, live in the shop with CCTV. They leave, but Ruddock soon chances upon rival Emmanuel and friends. Emmanuel, which is going to be circled on the screen now, had been in that Astra earlier, which was set alight when he was on the back of the motorbike, and he was running in this clip, which is caught on CCTV from various angles. Like clips even from people's back garden views of him running. After a game of cat and mouse, they confront Emmanuel. Out of his area, outnumbered, and rivals of his chasing him, I can only imagine the fear he must have had, and they did actually catch up with him. CCTV will show a motorbike come flying down the road and his quick instinctive reflexes to spot it, but still walking across the green in this area and comes out the other side of this road. Still armed, you can see them closing in on their target, which is Emmanuel, spotted on another CCTV camera. Emmanuel was stabbed once in a garden and died at the scene. He was just 21 years old. Rest in peace to him. So the man in that Snapchat video and the people alongside him were spotted on CCTV fleeing the scene of the incident. They still had their motorbikes around. They had that other van as well at the scene around the area and were spotted with weapons in their hand, clearly with cameras around that they obviously couldn't see.
There's been tension between these two estates. We spoke to members of the community, utilising local officers to engage with them and understand those tensions. That enabled us to have a richer picture in relation to the lead up. It enabled us to identify these people very quickly. From the community, we was aware that this group hung around a certain shop centre. We was able to then go earlier on in the day and identify the primary offender with his face unmasked.
This is a common mistake a lot of criminals make. They get masked up when doing something, but they don't realise the police can trace their whole day. So if you went to the shopping centre or somewhere earlier unmasked, they will trace you back to that incident. But also in the heat of the moment when people do such crazy things, they probably haven't thought about, oh, I was in the shopping centre earlier with my face out. Sometimes things just kicked off and it's not premeditated when they see certain people in their area.
They dispose of a knife down a country lane where they dispose it into a local brook. We was able to do an extensive search of that area and was able to recover that knife.
It was said using witness statements, the police were able to piece together all their movements together before and after the attack. Although they had tried to cover their tracks, we found the bike, a petrol canister used to torture the Astra, clothing, all had been burned. Significantly, we found a large Rambo knife discarded in a brook which matched the damage caused to Manny's clothing. It was clear from the outset the 3 convicted were in intent of causing harm to Manny and his friends that day. Manny, short for Emmanuel, the man whose life was unfortunately taken. A police officer said, "Our thoughts are with Manny and his family. Once again, we see the desperate sadness that knife crime brings, not just to a family, but those affected by the perpetrator's actions. We've worked tirelessly to educate young people about the consequence of carrying knives and the impact on young lives." First of all, for the trio that caused damage to the car, a 27-month concurrent sentence was handed to the trio for arson, alongside with Carl Kitchen. A minimum term for Ruddock in the Snapchat video of 21 years he's got to serve for being considered to be released. Bradley and Matthew, his co-defendants, had denied an M charge but were convicted of it as well. The West Midlands police themselves actually posted up the footage of him bragging about it, quoting lyrics that correlate to actually what happened. They was covering their faces and was so careful. This guy's got a phone to his face telling people on his Snapchat what happened, with another man standing next to him, not even giving him the advice not to talk about it either. It's like they didn't even want to get away with it. It's always a lot worse when people either put up something on Snapchat talking about what happened after, or even rapping about it in music videos we've seen as well, because it shows a lack of remorse, and by the time you go to court, you've literally got no chance to even fight the case, because the remorse you've shown is that you don't even regret what you did if you're found guilty of it. And also think about if you are innocent. In the eyes of a jury, if he put up that video in the local area and he was just on suspicion of doing it, they have no concrete evidence, people would think this is the kind of stuff that he thinks is acceptable. He put up on his story, so that push with a little bit more of reasonable suspicion could have got him convicted. I want to finish off this video by saying rest in peace to Emmanuel. I know a lot of the media want to fit the narrative that everyone's gang members, they're also normal people with families, mothers, brothers, sisters, everything. Rest in peace to this man. He was outnumbered in that situation as well, got trapped in and jumped by multiple people. It was a very, very sad story for him. That's it for this video, guys. We live in a crazy generation where people want to score points on social media and self-snitch. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel with that notification bell as well. I'll see you all in my next video. Make sure you comment below some video ideas for the future. As always, peace out.